Welcome to Notes of Milwaukee. I'm your host, Peyton Luke, and today we'll be getting to know a few artists and musicians local to the city. And make sure to stick around for a special live performance by Dave Fiskebane, who's going to be playing an acoustic version of a song from his newest album titled Made of Stone Volume 2. Milwaukee is home to a diverse range of bands and artists ranging from folk to metal to rap. Whether you're seeing a headliner at Summerfest or catching a local artist at one of the numerous venues around town, there's really something for everyone to listen to in the city. With that, let's take a look at local indie and soul artist and multi-instrumentalist Dak Du Bois.
So I'm Dak Du Bois, it's D-A-K-D-U-B-O-I-S. I grew up in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. I moved to Appleton when I was 18, 19, and then I lived there for about 8-9 years, and then just moved to Milwaukee about 1.5 years ago. So I started learning how to play guitar when I was 11. I just kind of always wanted to learn how to play guitar. My brother he still is an incredibly accomplished musician, and he plays every instrument. And we didn't grow up in the same house growing up, so I almost deitized my brother because he'd be out and touring and playing these insane shows in front of 500 people, and I'd be like, oh, that's crazy, I want to do that, you know? So I started playing guitar at 11 and really ramped up my songwriting skills in my early teen years, and that's kind of when I started dabbling into playing bass and messing around with drums and messing around with keyboards and stuff like that. Guitar is definitely the main thing. I've put so much time and energy, especially when I was younger, into it. I had to suck for a long time. It takes a long time to get out of sucking at doing something, and just patience, you know? It's definitely something that taught me. But yeah, guitar that's the main thing. I feel that's my almost hidden X factor as an artist. The stuff I can do on guitar is unreal, and I have no idea how to do it, you know, but I do it still. It's crazy. I feel a lot of the audio engineering skills that I've picked up over the last few years, some of them I kind of picked up watching other engineers in studios doing what they do. I also think playing shows out live. I've seen a lot of what live engineers do. And live engineering and studio engineering is a little bit different because there's different things going on, but there's still a lot of things that you could pick up from that. I also think just being an active listener is important too. The active listening and paying attention just in any situation, but let alone with what you're working on in the mix, is really important. The mix will kind of tell you, it'll dictate where you're supposed to go with it if you kind of understand, you know, frequencies and stuff, and why effects cause things to be in different places too. And then in the era of TikTok too, I feel the last 4, maybe 5 years, however long I've been on TikTok for, I follow a lot of really amazing engineers on there that have Grammys and have worked on some just amazing commercial stuff and even obscure stuff. And quite a few of them are amazing at what they do and just super good at giving tips. Yeah, I definitely think being my own self-engineer makes it way easier because I'm not thinking about just what instrumental part I want to play and how I want to play it. That is a part of it, but then I'm thinking about how I want it to sit in the mix, how I want it to sit in the songwriting process. It's easier to have less hands on it in the beginning of creating something because I'm not as worried about showing it off right away. I'm oh, within time, you know, people will see this, so I have some time to kind of sit on it and think about it and where I want to go with it and what kind of energy and emotion I want the listener to experience out of it. So it's super copacetic. I feel I don't really have to communicate with other people. I just have to communicate with myself, so it's pretty easy. I've definitely released some music. I just started releasing music in April of 2023 under this Dak Du Bois surname, I guess. And so I released my first album April 28th of 2023. It had some pretty cool songs on it. It was like my first process of engineering and really like mixing and mastering and doing this whole thing. And then I just released an EP, that first MKE project, which was the like Milwaukee collective with other artists, in the end of December in 2023. I'm releasing the second volume of MKE project at the end of March. And then after that, I'll probably give it a few weeks, but I have my second album is pretty much done right now too, so I'm just gonna slowly, drop like a song on that every 2 weeks. My like personal goals as an artist is to get on like a tour or two with like bigger national acts for like opening with them and stuff. Yeah, probably find a manager too, because I'm kind of getting to the point as like an artist where everything's really overwhelming and I don't have enough time to do all of these like small tasks. I think the biggest advice I give to anybody who's starting to learn their craft as an engineer or as an artist or as a producer or as just an instrumentalist even too, like if you're just learning one instrument, is just keep messing up. Like just keep doing it and stay persistent. I feel like hard work really does pay off, especially as an artist. And the harder you work and the more rocks that you flip over, eventually the more you'll reap for it too, I think that tenacity is important, but learning from your mistakes is even more important. And you can't learn from your mistakes if you don't make any from the get-go. So the more mistakes you make, the better of the art you're gonna make, especially in the long run. So I'm rolling my sleeves up somehow.
I don't know about you, but I might have to check out some of Dak's music. What a great display of local talent. Now let's change our key and get to know this show's musical guest, Dave Biscobean. Tell us a bit about yourself, Dave.
Absolutely. My name's Dave. I play in a rock band called Coach Busse Fan Club. I'm the lead singer and guitar player, and I'm one of the songwriters too. I started playing guitar when I was about 15 years old, so it was my summer going into my sophomore year of high school.
What piqued your interest in making music?
Well, what inspired me was I went to a local festival in my city with my uncle, and I saw this local cover band, and I was just really fixed on the guitar player, and I said to myself, like, I want to be that.
What kind of music did you grow up listening to?
Well, growing up, a lot of like the classics, like the Beatles, AC/DC, Journey, Guns N' Roses,
Nice.
all those classics.
Yeah, for sure. Besides those groups, did you draw inspiration from them or other things when you're creating your own music?
Well, at first, when I first picked up the guitar, I kind of drew inspiration from those bands because that was the music I wanted to play. But then as time went on, I started to create my own music, and I started getting inspiration from bands like Weezer and Green Day and Blink-182, like those guys.
So like stylistically, your music is closer to those bands, Weezer and Blink, or where is your music headed currently?
I'd say so. Definitely the alternative side. That's kind of what my band is too. But this new album is kind of like shifting over to like the more of the heavier side.
Yeah. Like, what kind of artists would you compare your new record to? Like when heavier, like explain that.
I'd have to say definitely still on the alternative side, but slowly starting to creep over to the heavier side of things with like just the big riffage and guitar parts and stuff.
Gotcha. So when you were learning guitar, were you self-taught or were you trained by someone?
When I started, I tried to teach myself for like a couple days, and then eventually I got a guitar student who actually lives right here in Milwaukee.
Nice. Cool. So when you were recording your album, was this in a studio in a city? Was this in your home studio? Where did you do it?
Well, when I record music with my band, I usually try to go to a studio with them. But when it's like my solo music, I try to just record at home, just in my room and stuff.
Nice. So with your creative process, with this last album, like explain it. What did you do? How did we get to point A to where you're just about to release this new record right in a week? I want to know.
Yeah, the new
more about
album's
it.
coming out on Friday. It's called Made of Stone Volume 2. It's the sequel album to my last album called Made of Stone, which I released last year in December. And kind of the creative process, I guess, is, you know, trying to find inspiration behind the songs.
Yeah.
And then another thing that really kind of inspires me, too, when I'm recording these songs, too, is, you know, just messing around with different effects, like vocal effects or guitar effects, and something that makes the song as a whole sound different, and that's kind of what I was going for on this album.
So we'll see some of those.
Definitely.
Cool. And that's this Friday, correct?
Yep.
And that's Made of Stone Volume 2.
Yep.
So, besides guitar though, I'm curious, what other instruments would you try and learn next? I'm curious.
I do actually play a couple other instruments. I play drums and bass and a little bit of piano.
Oh, cool. Out of those three, what would you want to learn next?
Definitely, I'd say I want to get better at the drums,
Yeah.
for sure.
Who do you look up to as a drummer?
Well, I really do like Dave Grohl, lead singer of the Foo Fighters, but I also really like former Five Finger Death Punch drummer Jeremy Spencer, because you know, he's just got the massive drum set in front of him, and you know, he does like the really fast double kick,
Yeah.
and it's awesome, man.
Besides those people you just mentioned, who would you collaborate with? Anybody?
Well, as much as I'd love to collaborate, you know, with all those big names and stuff, there's a couple local musicians that I'm friends with that I'd, you know, love to do something with. For starters, my good friend Isa, he records at Cherry Pit Studios in Menominee Falls, and his music is more so like rock and like rap mixed together.
Yeah.
Another musician is my friend Anthony. Well, his music name is Celestial, and I just love his music, man. You know,
They're both great. I mean,
yeah,
I've worked with them
They
too.
both really bring the
So,
heat.
Those are good choices, honestly. Besides, okay, so I just want to talk about this record again because I'm really excited about it. What was the hardest part about writing your lyrics? Like, what was the hardest part just about writing your songs?
I'd say definitely the lyrics, and just finding the inspiration and the, you know, motivation to put into it. You know?
Well, thank you. I'm glad you could talk about that today. I'm
Yeah,
super
absolutely.
excited for the record, and yeah,
Absolutely.
thanks for coming. Well, thank you for talking to me, Dave. Again, it's been great, and to have some insight too on what it takes to create your own music. So I can't wait to watch you perform. I know you're about to. But first, we're gonna look into one more artist. Mo City is a local rapper with a unique sound and intricate flows that would make any rap fan listen twice. Let's take a look.
My real name's Dominique, and then my artist name is Mo City. So everybody just started calling me Damo because Dominique's a lot to say, and then Damo got shortened into Mo City. When I'm writing a song, usually I draw inspiration from my life, right? Things that have occurred to me over my whole life. Like when I'm sad, I write sad. When I'm happy, I write happy. Pretty much that's whatever's presently going on in my life or what I'm thinking about most is what I write about. Music is literally now, it's my everything. I mean, it's like my therapy. My dad made music and he died. So when he died, it was my way to stay close to him. And then I kind of got okay at it. And then other people said I was good at it. So I kind of stayed with it. If I don't say it on the record, I probably won't say it. Because I'm not a talkative person in real life. I don't really go to people with my problems. That was my dad. So I don't have anybody left to like vent to. The type of music I was listening to when I was growing up was R&B and a little bit of hip hop. Jill Scott, Erykah Badu, the list can go on. Macy Gray, and then Ice Cube, and it's a million artists I was listening to growing up. My influence comes a lot from J. Cole, a lot from Kendrick, a lot of Big Crit, especially Big Crit. Him being from Mississippi and my family coming from Mississippi, he was like the first artist I ever like latched on to and like, you get it, like I get it. So yeah, I copied a lot of that stuff in the beginning, you know, until I figured out how I want to do it myself. I did just release an album. It's called Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I released it February 12th. You can get it literally anywhere you can listen to music. I don't care how you get it. You can steal it. I don't care. But yeah, I'm working on a lot of different music. I'm working with one of my best friends on a duo album. It's called Craig and Day Day. It's based off of Friday. He's Day, I'm Craig. I'm working on a camp tape with me and my collective of artists that I know of. So I got a lot of music I'm working on. Now, will it come out? That's a whole different thing. I collaborate often with a lot of artists. The artists that were on the album are the ones I primarily collaborate with. Those are my brothers and sisters. I literally grew up with all of those people. The artists I work with are genuinely good people, but they're really hard to impress. They'll tell you when something's bad. We get a lot more that's not good than that's really good in our little circle. I do a lot of live shows. I pretty much perform every weekend, at least 2-3 times a month. Whether it be a Company Brewing, whether it be a Cactus, whether it be at Miller High Life, whether it be Summerfest. So yeah, I'm kind of always performing. I think my major goal is to do this full time. I want music to be the thing that pays my bills. I think that's really my only goal. I am not traditionally trained in anything. I taught myself based off of things around me. My dad made music, so I kind of try to mimic what he was doing, and that's how I learned. My favorite song I've made, period, would probably be Sorry on the album or The Realest. Sorry was just like, I was in a bad place, and I kind of like talked to myself on the record, and I was kind of like reaffirming it's okay on that record, so that means the most to me. The hardest thing about making music in a world of music is everything's been done. Every feeling's been said before, everything's been rapped before. So what I try to do is, I try to do it in intricate ways. I try to convey emotion in a lot of different ways. Like if you listen to certain songs, I use certain flows, I speed it up, try to keep you entertained, or I slow it down, or I bring somebody else who's really good at doing these things to convey certain emotions. But nothing's new. Nothing's new. If you heard it from me, you heard it from 15 other people. I just hope you like it from me the best. The kind of advice I would give somebody getting into music is just be open. Listen, everyone's not out to get you. It might feel like that in the beginning, like no one understands your craft, but trust me, nothing you're doing is new. It's all been done before, so just listen. And I'm not saying you take everyone's advice, but be open to it.
Milwaukee is just full of talented artists like Dak DuBois and Mo City. I'll definitely have to check those two perform in person. Speaking of live music, performing his new song, The Record Store, please welcome back our musical guest, Dave Biscobane.
Everybody knows what I'm looking for. It doesn't change the way I think at all. You're just a stuck-up little punk. You don't care for anyone at all. 'Cause I see through your lies, and it's hard to be disguised. And I know that it's not fair, but say goodbye. I wanna run to the other side of the street. I wanna run, please get away from me. I've been lost before, it doesn't feel too good. I wanna run to the other side, the other side of the street. Everybody thinks they know everything, but it doesn't faze me at all. 'Cause all you ever do is run your lips. You never know when to shut your mouth. And I see through your lies, they're so hard to be disguised. And I know that it's not fair, say been lost before. It doesn't feel too good. I wanna run to the other side of the street. I wanna run to the other side of the street. I wanna run, please get away from me. I've been lost before, it doesn't feel too good. I wanna run to the other side of the street.
That was a great performance, Dave. Thanks so much for being here today. And thank you for watching Notes of Milwaukee.